we're going to bring in editor-in-chief of TheHill.com, Bob Cusack, and senior writer for The Dispatch, David Drucker. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us on Morning in America this Wednesday.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Bob, were you surprised by the conviction, and what do you think it's going to mean for Hunter Biden's tax trial coming up in September?
No. Most legal experts thought that he would be found guilty, and he was. And as you guys were talking about, listen, this is just the beginning for Hunter Biden in a tough stretch. I don't think it's going to have a massive impact on the election. At the same time, an acquittal might have had more, because then Trump world would have said this is ridiculous and the Justice Department is uneven and not fair. But this is a tough time for the Biden family, no doubt about it.
Yeah, well, David, President Trump has said that the Justice Department is out to get him. Democrats say the verdict here disproves that the GOP claims that the DOJ has been weaponized. But now some Republicans are calling this case actually a sham to distract from allegations against President Biden himself. So what do you think? I mean, is this just a conspiracy theory, or does this have some teeth?
You know, the great thing about conspiracies is every development proves just how deep the conspiracy runs. So, you know, these sort of arguments are useless. What I think is interesting here is that it's a big test for President Joe Biden in terms of how he handles it. I agree with Bob. The outcome of this case, which everybody expected, but even if it had gone the other way, it's not going to impact the election. Voters are choosing between the nominees themselves, and the nominees are so well known and have become so polarizing that it's hard for anything to really move the needle all that much, particularly in the key battleground states. But because the president has made defending democracy and a key part of his message, because Democrats argue that you can't reelect former President Donald Trump because he would undermine democracy, I think it's crucial here that the president, sort of quash any desire he has publicly to defend his son and do what he's done so far, which is, say that he respects the jury system, the outcome of the case, and not get involved, because there it provides a real contrast between himself and his Republican opponent, and that at least gives him an opportunity to make a case that voters might listen to when it comes to defense of democracy and how Trump handles things. And of course, Trump constantly complains about the outcome of cases he doesn't like. He never, of course, takes issue with cases he does.
Yeah, why would he, right? Bob, President Biden has been asked by the media, will you accept the verdict? Yes. Will you pardon your son? And he's basically said no. Some are saying if he loses this election, he would. And if he wins the election, he may still commute the sentence. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, the president has said publicly that he would not pardon Hunter Biden, and I'm sure he was ready for that question, and he'll be asked again, I think, multiple times. But I don't quite buy that he's not going to pardon his son. We got Father's Day coming up this weekend. How many fathers have the ability to keep their sons out of jail? Again, this is not going to happen before the election. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen after the election, but should President Biden lose, I think the chances are significantly higher than they are before the election that he would pardon Hunter Biden. Would he take heat for that? Absolutely. But as the president said, he loves his son. He has defended his son, saying he's done nothing wrong. To keep him out of jail, I think he would expend some political capital.
Here we go. David Drucker and Bob Cusack. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but you've left us wanting more, so we'll have to come back to you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.